Good morning. We'll give folks just one more minute to join the line and then we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you to everyone who's able to join. Just maybe a quick introduction. My name is Brian Levinson, and I'm a program manager within the Azure Engineering Division, where I work on specifically tools, experiences, and capabilities across the Azure platform designed specifically for Microsoft partners, and in particular for organizations that are managing Azure resources on behalf of customers, oftentimes in a multi-customer to partner scenario. And I'm here to talk a little bit this morning about Partner Admin Link, a new capability designed to measure and recognize the influence that Microsoft partners have within the ecosystem, the value that you bring to our customers. And I'll spend a little bit of time explaining some of the context around why we want to be able to recognize the influence that partners have for our customers. I'll talk a little bit about the capabilities that are available today, what's new about Partner Admin Link, why we've introduced this new mechanism, and then I'll do a little bit of a deeper dive into exactly how it works, and then share a bit of our roadmap, and then a couple of resources. And this probably won't take the full hour that we've scheduled. We'll be more than happy to follow up with questions, and I do have a number of resources where you can provide feedback, ask for additional information, and we're very excited for Inspire coming up in just about 2 weeks in Las Vegas, where we'll also be talking a little bit more about this, as well as many other exciting new opportunities, capabilities across all of Microsoft's products and cloud offerings. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right in to why do we care about the influence that partners have? And this is hopefully a little bit of an obvious question and answer. And I just want to take a moment though to recognize that when we think about Azure, it's an incredibly powerful platform. The capabilities, the services within the cloud, but ultimately, Azure comes to life when partners align the capabilities with the business needs, with the mission goals of organizations around the world. And we know that Microsoft partners do incredible work with and for customers. And Microsoft also has a very large field presence. We have account teams working with a lot of customers. And our goal, our objective, the reason that we care about the influence that partners have is that we want to help align the opportunities for our customers, the business needs and goals of the organizations with whom we work. We want to help align those with the offerings and the value that Microsoft partners can bring to them. And so over the years, we've introduced a number of different capabilities designed for uh, effectively associating partners with customers so that we can formally recognize and reward the influence that you have and the revenue that you're helping to generate. And to date, we've largely done this through a process called Digital Partner of Record, or DPOR. DPOR, Digital Partner of Record, is a mechanism that effectively associates the partner with the customer subscription so that as the subscription grows, Microsoft can recognize with competencies, with financial rewards, the business that you're driving, the influence and value that you bring to the customer. But DPOR hasn't necessarily represented all of the great work that Microsoft partners do. There's a number of different mechanisms that we use for tracking influence, but through numerous conversations and research that the Microsoft team has done, it's become very clear that we're not identifying all of the important work that partners are doing. So we took a step back and we said, well, if we were to design from the ground up the ability for Microsoft to associate existing product telemetry with partner identities, what would that look like? And so we set out a couple of principles. First, we want this mechanism to be product-based. There's a tremendous amount of product telemetry that already exists. Are VMs spinning up or spinning down? What does the revenue look like? There's a lot of information captured out of the system. And so we wanted to use existing management paradigms as well. It should tie into what's already within the system. It's the way that partners are already engaging with customers. And we don't want the customer to have to do anything. It should be simple, seamless, very easy to associate, and also with very minimal effort required to maintain that association, and also not having to go ask the customer to do some stuff in their portal. And then, of course, the outcome of this, it's got to be impactful. We need to be able to have Microsoft account teams bring opportunities to partner organizations to understand the strengths and the expertise of the Microsoft partners. And so looking across the stack of products, which of course complements the great work that we have with our One Commercial Partner organization, partner development managers, PDMs, we talked to a number of partners about how are you managing infrastructure on behalf of customers? How do you go in and do the administration activities? And through these conversations, what we identified is that there's really a couple of key ways that partners are engaging with customers and with the infrastructure. Generally speaking, outside of CSP or the cloud solution provider mechanism, customers are giving partners, IT service providers, admin accounts in a couple of ways. Either a user account locally within the tenant, right within the domain, with a guest account where you can invite in the identity of the partner using Azure Active Directory Federation or B2B, or with a service principal, which can be used for automation and application authentication. And so Partner Admin Link takes the approach of associating an MPN ID with those set of credentials that you use to manage the infrastructure. This doesn't change the level of access that you have in the environment. It doesn't change the information that Microsoft has visibility to. Rather, what it's really doing is it's associating that partner identity with the work that's happening within the product so that the existing telemetry can be associated with that partner identity. This can be done by anyone who has the credentials. And then what we expect to be able to do with this is we want to be able to provide reports to organizations like yours, to partners, that says, here are all of the engagements, all of the customers under your management. Here's the amount of revenue that Microsoft views you as influencing. Here are the number of credentials you have, maybe the number of resource groups, subscriptions that you influence. We view this as being an opportunity for Microsoft to not just have visibility into areas of expertise, the accounts in which you're engaged, but also an opportunity for us to provide you insights and visibility into your engagements to facilitate business operations. We have very lofty goals and aspirations that also include providing customers a view into the partners active within their environment. But for the moment, I really want to focus on what the process looks like, which is that partners and customers meet, sign an agreement, set up a statement of work, and then once the customer provides you with the set of admin credentials that you would use to deliver the services, you can just very simply log in, and then through the Azure Management Portal, sometimes called a BISA, you can set the MPN association. It can also be done using a simple PowerShell script or even command line, so that then that association is made. It's not stored within the customer's tenant. It's actually an association stored within the management layer of Azure itself. And then any of the product telemetry associated with those accounts, the resources under management within the scope of the admin permissions, we're able to then generate reports and provide that back. We're able to help Microsoft account teams see which partners are active within my account so that not only do I not accidentally introduce someone else and disrupt an existing engagement, but also collaborate and co-sell and develop a much stronger partnership, because I know as a Microsoft account manager that you're working with my customer and serving as a trusted advisor to them. And so when we start to think about the scope of tracking, once this the MPN ID is associated with the accounts, we're able to then start to look at the management access across Azure. What is the scope and permission level that you have within the environment? Scope being at the subscription level, resource group, or individual resource instance. Permission level being read, contribute, owner, or read, write, own. And this spans all licensing programs. So whether the subscription was purchased and set up under an enterprise agreement, through the web directly, or via CSP, Partner Admin Link will function across all of those subscription types. And most importantly, also allows for multiple partners to engage on the same customer. Not just allows for that, but actually enables the reporting and the recognition of the influence, because as we know with Digital Partner of Record today, it's one partner per subscription. And that just really doesn't align with the way that enterprise customers engage with IT service providers, engage with Microsoft partners. There may be one partner that helps set up a subscription. Maybe someone's providing help desk support and another organization is managing the infrastructure or deploying an application, implementing a business solution. And so with Partner Admin Link, because it's based on the credentials that are being used and not the subscription itself, we're able to allow multiple partners to receive the recognition of influencing the same customer without trying to convince the customer to set you as partner of record. Maybe there's someone else there, maybe the customer out of principle doesn't set partner of record. These are some of the scenarios that we're seeking to improve with Partner Admin Link. And then by seeing the user credentials, the scope of access, consumption of resources, we believe that we're able to provide useful business intelligence insights back to your organization. And that's part of what we're really interested in getting feedback on, where we can make this more and more useful, where we can make this more and more valuable to your organization. So I want to take a couple of minutes and talk about how we actually create the link. How do we associate the MPN ID with these credentials? And the answer is that it's a relatively simple process. It can be done, I mentioned, in the user interface of the Azure Management Portal. It can be done using a PowerShell script, or it can be done using a command line. The requirements are actually just simply that you're using a valid MPN ID. It is checked against the database, and so only a valid MPN ID will be associated. The link is per user credential, per tenant. So you just first authenticate into the customer's environment, log in using the credentials that you have, and then whomever has the username and password, presumably you as the partner, maybe your architects, consultants, analysts, that individual can log in and set the MPN ID. He or she can then update it, remove it. Only one MPN ID can be associated with a set of credentials at a given time, but that can be changed, and it doesn't have to be one MPN ID per partner. I know that there are many partner organizations that have multiple MPN IDs for various reasons, and you can, as long as it's just one at a time on the credentials, you can use them for various credentials across your organization. And that can only be updated, added, or removed by the individual who has the username and password of those credentials. We of course always encourage partners to be transparent with customers about what's going on in their environment, but unlike digital partner of record, partner admin link and this process that I'm describing can be done by the partner with absolutely no involvement from the customer. The customer doesn't need to do anything other than make sure that you have admin credentials for the environment, which presumably you need to deliver services anyway. We've had a number of conversations and discussions around how the process works. And over the last, let's say, 2 to 3 months, we've received a number of questions, but actually very, very few issues. I've gotten feedback that PowerShell and command line is so easy that folks haven't even bothered to log into the portal. Personally, I really like logging into the portal because that's where I do a lot of my work anyway, when I'm in the management portal. And so I have some documentation that will share some resources to where it is exactly, but the PowerShell, the command line, it's all quite simple. It's just a very simple script that runs against the credentials and associates an MPN ID. And then, as I mentioned, the user interface within the Azure Management Portal, if you go to the top right, where there's a little gear for the portal settings, and click that drop down, there's then a link that says link your partner identity to Azure credentials. And a new window will open. You enter in your MPN ID, and it will associate, and everything goes forward within the portal. It will give you a little bit of feedback. It'll say your MPN ID and partner name that's been associated to the credentials right within the user interface as well. It does validate the MPN ID I mentioned, so we'll need to make sure that it's valid. And we're encouraging people to participate in what we're calling it a pilot or a public preview. I'll speak in a minute to the roadmap that we have for the capability, but at this time, what we're seeking to do is get as much feedback as possible. What are the business insights that would be helpful if you could pull information out of the product telemetry? What would you like Microsoft account teams to make sure that they know and have visibility into when you're working within one of their customers? As I mentioned, I'll share a couple of resources. We'll be happy to answer questions, do live demos, help in any way that we can. But one of the reasons that we're really encouraging people to participate in this public preview, in this pilot, is that we're designing this capability and other programs moving forward based on what we're able to learn from the partner admin link insights. There's a number of efforts and initiatives, investments across the Azure product teams where we're seeking to optimize Azure capabilities for partner use cases. And this is one of the ways that we're prioritizing what we do and how we do it. We're also evaluating whether or not this could be a supplement to digital partner of record in the future for things like automating competencies, for recognizing influence from a financial rewards and benefits perspective. It's important to mention that as of today, as it stands, digital partner of record remains the official financial benefits program and way that we measure influence for that program. And Partner Admin Link does not have benefits associated with it today. That depends on how well the public preview goes. So we strongly encourage you to participate, provide feedback, ask questions. I will, in just a moment, put up a couple of resources in terms of how you can get in touch with us. But I do want to emphasize that the public preview does not have formal benefits or competencies associated with it, but will help us shape and craft that moving forward. We introduced the Partner Admin Link feature and capability publicly at the very end of April, early May, and since then we've seen about 500 partner organizations use the capability. We're seeing great success from the internal checks that we're doing. And then in the coming weeks, later in July, we'll be introducing the reporting so that you'll be able to get the view back of the associations that you've made, the number of customers, subscriptions, resources, and revenue under your management or under your influence. And then there's a number of efforts that we have going forward later in this calendar year around customer reporting, the visibility to the internal Microsoft teams, to your PDMs, to the account teams, and then we will continue to improve the reports that we provide to you, which is again why I'm particularly interested in feedback on what makes it more and more useful for your business. Not just because of GDPR, but especially in the era of GDPR, we want to be especially sensitive and diligent about maintaining the privacy of our customers, of your customers, of your business. So I just want to reiterate that Azure Partner Admin Link does not store PII. It does not grant you greater access into the customer's environment. It does not provide Microsoft access into the customer's environment or any greater visibility than we've already had. Rather, it's taking the existing product telemetry, which follows all of our compliance commitments that we make across the board, and it associates your partner identity, your MPN ID, with that existing product telemetry. It's in that way that we're able to seamlessly and automatically start to report on and measure the influence that you have so that we can continue to improve our ability to co-sell, collaborate, and partner with your organization. Couple of resources here to just share. The Azure Partner Admin at Microsoft.com is my V team. There's a couple of us that sit in that alias. We will be more than happy to follow up and answer questions, offer assistance, solicit feedback, or I should say I am soliciting feedback. We would love to hear it through that alias, that email address. aka.ms/partneradmin link will take you to the documentation with step-by-step instructions on how to make the association, exactly which PowerShell scripts or command line commands to use to do the linkage between your MPN ID and the credentials. We also have a very, very brief survey where we would love your feedback, questions. If you submit your email address, I will provide an update as soon as the reporting goes live and is available to partners to see the results of your association and where you can find that. And then we do have a recording of these slides should you want to share it later with other people within your organization or just go back and rewatch. And that's at aka.ms/intropal preview. And I will be updating that as the new capabilities roll out with reporting, for example. I'll share these slides. They are published on some of the resources that are on that previous slide, including a number of FAQs, guidance. So there's the documentation. Some of the questions that were most frequently asked, I've touched on, but what does this mean for digital partner of record? And this is a parallel program. This does not replace DPOR. This does not have financial benefits associated with it at this time, but we are running a public preview so that we can learn as much as possible and then evaluate how to take it forward from there. I know that digital partner of record has proven tricky with some of the limitations of a single partner, and so Partner Admin Link does allow Microsoft Teams to have much greater and much more fair and precise visibility into the great work that you're doing with our customers. I didn't think it would take quite the full hour, but we went a little bit more quickly than I had anticipated. So I just want to say thank you so much for your time. I'm going to put up that previous slide with the resources and I'll leave it here for a couple of minutes. Please don't hesitate to reach out, provide feedback, ask questions. We are here to help and really appreciate your time and your consideration for this new mechanism of tracking partner influence. Thank you very much.